Hey, welcome. If you're getting ready to become a registered behavior technician, you have landed in the perfect spot. Today, we are going to break down the RBT exam and give you a super clear step-by-step guide to absolutely crush it. Let's get started.
So here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off by looking at the exam challenge itself. Then we'll decode the format and, of course, what's actually on it. We'll even try out a few practice questions before I show you an amazing study tool that'll get you across that finish line. Okay, let's dive right in. Look, the first step to conquering any challenge is to really understand it. And yeah, the RBT exam, it can feel like a pretty big one.
Does that sound like you? Yeah? If you're nodding along, I want you to know that's totally normal. It's so easy to feel like you're drowning in a sea of complex terms and jargon. And that's exactly why having a plan, a structured approach, is so incredibly important.
And let's not forget why this is so important. The RBT role is absolutely crucial in applied behavior analysis, or ABA, which is really the science of how we understand and improve behavior. You're going to be on the front lines, putting behavior plans into action and making a real, tangible difference in people's lives. That's a huge responsibility, and it's why being prepared isn't just about passing a test, it's about being ready for the job. So how do we get you ready? Well, we start by breaking the whole thing down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Let's pull back the curtain on the exam structure so you know exactly what you're walking into. All right, here are the two big numbers you gotta know. The exam has 45 multiple choice questions, and you've got 90 minutes to do it. If you do the math, that's about 2 minutes per question, which means pacing yourself is gonna be a major key to success. And here it is, the magic number, 72%. That's what you need to pass. Now here's a pro tip. There is no penalty for wrong answers. So what does that mean? It means you answer every single question. Never leave any points on the table. Okay, we know the format. Now let's get to the good stuff. What kind of content is actually on this test? Because, knowing where to focus your study time, that's half the battle right there. Now check this out, because this is really interesting. See those top 4 categories? Ethics, assessment, behavior reduction, and behavior increase? They all have pretty much the same weight. And that is not an accident. These 4 things are the absolute core of what you'll be doing every single day as an RBT. And this chart just makes it crystal clear, right? You can see it right there. Those 4 pillars of your daily practice totally dominate the exam. The other stuff, like terminology and data, are super important, for sure. But your success really depends on mastering those core hands-on skills. All right, enough theory, let's get our hands dirty. The best way to really understand this test is to actually try a few questions. So I'll read a question and the options, I'll give you a second, and then we'll walk through the answer together. You ready? Let's do this. First one up is from the assessment category. Which of the following is a key component of effective assessment in education? Is it A, subjective evaluations, B, consistent and objective criteria, C, random feedback, or D, personal opinions? Take a second. If you picked B, you nailed it. In behavior analysis, data is king, and effective assessment has to be objective. Why? Because using the same standards for everyone gets rid of any personal bias and gives us clean, reliable data. And that is what helps us make the best decisions for our clients. Okay, let's try another one, this time on behavior reduction. Which of the following is a common strategy for reducing undesirable behaviors in individuals with developmental disabilities? Your options are A, positive reinforcement, B, punishment, C, extinction, or D, observation. And the correct answer is C, extinction. Now, this is a core concept, and it's actually way simpler than it sounds. All it means is removing the reward for a behavior. So let's say a child screams to get a cookie. Extinction just means you stop giving them the cookie when they scream. Over time, because the behavior isn't being rewarded anymore, it'll naturally start to fade away. All right, one last one for you. This one's all about documentation. What is the primary purpose of documentation in behavior analysis? Is it A, to provide entertainment for stuff? B, to track client progress and treatment effectiveness? C, to justify billing? Or D, to comply with personal preferences? The answer is B. Now, this is a fantastic question because it has a really tricky option in there. I mean, yes, of course, documentation is used for billing, but that's a secondary thing. Its primary purpose, its main job, is always clinical. It's the hard data that tells us if a plan is working, it holds us accountable, and it guides every single decision we make. So after trying those out, you've probably got a much better feel for the exam. But how do you get ready for all 45 questions across all those different topics? Well, that brings us to a really cool tool designed to do exactly that.
Meet the Easy Quizzz platform. It's this awesome simulator you can use on the web or on a mobile app, and it's built from the ground up to get you ready to walk in and pass that RBT exam.
So, how does something like this really build your confidence? Well, it's all in the features. You've got learning mode, which gives you instant feedback. That's how our brains learn best, right? By fixing mistakes right away. Then there's exam mode, which is amazing because it copies the real test environment. It helps you practice your timing and beat that test day anxiety before you even get there. And since it's on your phone, you can turn 5 minutes of waiting in line into a quick study session. It's all about studying smarter, not just harder.
All of this brings us to one final really important point. With the right strategy and with the right tools, you have a clear, straight path to success. So let's wrap this all up. Yes, the RBT exam can seem really intimidating when you first look at it, but once you break it down, once you understand the format, you know the core content, you've practiced with real questions, and you have a tool to help you, it stops being this scary monster and just becomes a manageable and totally achievable goal. You now have the blueprint, you know what's coming, and you know how to prepare for it. So really, there's only one question left. Are you ready to walk into that exam feeling confident and pass it on your very first try?